So what happens when Sony and Microsoft release consoles that can play DVDs, but Nintendo didn't? Well, they come out with something called the Panasonic Q. This was a GameCube with the added features of playing DVDs as well. It wasn't that popular, there's not many about now, and these things are incredibly expensive if you want one now. This one's come in because the DVD tray doesn't eject, and they also want a Peekaboot mod installing on the GameCube side. So this is the Panasonic Q. You can see it's got a DVD drive. We have the power over here, and notably you'll see we've got the GameCube logo and a game button here. On the back of this we need to power with 110 volts, so you can see 100 volts here. So I'm using my mains AC transformer. We can output the game, specifically the GameCube, on here, or both through RCA. So I'm going to use the RCA connector for now. And if we turn back around, you can see we have the standby light. If we power up, it will power up in the previous mode that it was turned on at. And as we can see, that's the GameCube mode. So this is literally a stock GameCube, basically. It's a Japanese GameCube. And if you wanted to play DVDs, you power down, and you can power up using the DVD CD button on the top. And now instead of the GameCube booting, you get a DVD player. That's pretty much what it is in a nutshell. It's a DVD player plus a GameCube. You can see the tray on this doesn't eject, so that's probably going to be a drive belt maybe, so we'll sort that. And because of how complicated this thing is to take apart, and there's so many parts, I've made a complete disassembly guide as well as a reassembly guide. Once we're stripped down to this stage, you can see here a standard GameCube. We're going to now just install the Peekaboot. So we just got this helper ribbon cable we can solder here and then to this chip. And that's the Peekaboot installed, and now we can just have this outside of the console for easy access. While we're here, we get the old thermal pads off and put some fresh ones on. And now we can connect this back. And we can reassemble this back to the drive stage, where we can then fix the drive. And just before we reassemble the top part, we can see quite clearly this band is very, very weak. So that's likely the reason it won't open. Let's just swap this out. And there we go, that's much better now. And all that's left to do now is reassemble and test. And fully reassembled, let's turn on DVD mode first. We get the DVD. Now, does the drive work? Perfect. So that was the band. And make sure the GameCube still works, which it does. Now let's insert the Swiss, and this should get us into Swiss OS, which it does. Nice. So let's test out on Resident Evil. And we'll use our Super Gamepad Pro that connects to GameCubes, N64s, SNESes, PCs, Switches, all sorts. And there we go, that's running nicely. And how cool is it using a GameCube with a SNES controller? So I've got a perfect excuse now to sit and play some more Resident Evil. I'll give this a full QC, make sure the disk drive works, all the controllers work, the DVD player and everything else. And then I'll get this back to the customer. I hope you enjoyed this one, guys, and I'll catch you in the next.